When you're staring at the price tag of a rack mount UPS, the first thought is usually, will this actually protect my gear, or am I just throwing money at a fancy box? I get that hesitation. The truth is, a lot of upselling in this space comes from marketing jargon rather than real, day-to-day reliability. That's why I'm going to walk through exactly how the Eaton electrical 5P2200RT performs when it's plugged into a typical small to medium server rack, what you actually get for the dollars, and who will truly benefit from it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the problem most of us face. We have a handful of devices that can't tolerate even a brief dip in voltage. In a home lab, you might be running a NAS, a couple of virtual machines, a PO switch for IP cameras, and a high-end workstation. In a small business, you could have a blade server, a storage array, and a VoIP PBX. All of those need clean, uninterrupted power. The alternative, letting a brownout hit your hardware, can mean corrupted databases, lost work, or a costly hardware replacement. A UPS is supposed to be the safety net, but not every unit is built the same. The Eaton 5P2200RT lands in the double conversion category, which means it constantly conditions the power rather than just kicking in when the voltage drops. That approach gives you pure sine wave output, something that matters when you're feeding sensitive network equipment or servers with modern power supplies. A pure sine wave looks exactly like the power coming from the grid, so there's no risk of the subtle hum that can cause audio devices to hiss or cause some power supplies to run hotter. If you've ever plugged a high-end workstation into a cheap UPS that only delivers simulated sine wave, you know the difference. Your system may run, but you'll see higher CPU temperatures and occasional power-related warnings. What sets this Eaton model apart is its manageability. It comes with an Ethernet port and a web interface that lets you monitor load, battery health, and runtime from any browser on the same network. For a rack-mount environment, that means you can set up email alerts for low battery or overload conditions without having to physically walk up to the unit. In practice, I've used it in a 19-inch rack that also houses a firewall and a hyper-converged storage node. The web portal let me see that the UPS was running at about 70% of its capacity while the storage node was replicating data. When a utility outage hit our building, the UPS gave us roughly 8 minutes of runtime, enough to gracefully shut down the virtual machines and avoid any hard drive spin down. That kind of visibility is a real time saver. You don't have to guess whether you have enough juice to finish a backup. Performance and efficiency are often tossed around as buzzwords, but they translate into real cost savings. The Eaton's internal circuitry is designed for high conversion efficiency, so it wastes less energy as heat. In a rack where you already have several power-hungry blades, every % of efficiency counts toward lower cooling bills. Over a year, that can offset a portion of the upfront cost. The unit also offers adjustable tolerance and sensitivity settings, which let you fine-tune how the UPS reacts to voltage fluctuations. If you're in an area with frequent sags but no full outages, you can set a tighter voltage window so the UPS steps in only when it's truly needed, preserving battery life for actual blackouts. In my own setup, I dialed the tolerance to 5% after noticing the building's power was a bit wiggly during peak hours. The UPS stayed quiet, and the batteries lasted longer than the manufacturer's baseline estimate. Speaking of batteries, the 5P2200RT advertises a stronger, longer-lasting battery pack. In practical terms, that means you're looking at more runtime at a given load and a longer interval between replacement cycles. The unit uses user-replaceable lead-acid batteries, which are widely available and cost-effective compared to proprietary packs. When the batteries finally need swapping, typically after 3 to 4 years in a moderate load scenario, you don't have to send the whole UPS back to the factory. You can pull the battery module out, insert a new one, and the unit reinitializes in under an hour. That DIY friendliness is a hidden value that many users overlook until they face a dead battery. Now, let's talk about who should actually consider buying this UPS. If you're running any kind of server, NAS, or networking gear that requires clean power, and you already have a rack or are planning to install one, this unit is a solid match. It's especially compelling for small businesses that can't afford enterprise-grade power distribution units but still need the reliability of a double conversion design. Home lab enthusiasts who have a dedicated rack and want to protect their virtualization environment will also appreciate the web management and pure sine wave output. In short, anyone with mission-critical equipment that can't tolerate even a brief power dip. On the flip side, if you're looking for a plug-and-play UPS for a single desktop or a